right, now we live and direct, my brother.
I can't see.
You gotta put them blockers on.
I can't see.
You can't see. We
can't see.
Watch out, man.
I can't see. It's too bright in here. The light is too bright. Let me see.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I'm back. It's Lightwalker time, y'all. It's time to be the Lightwalkers tonight. We back Wednesday nights. I can see now. I can see.
Right up here in the Lightwalkers.
Yeah, man, Lightwalkers. Hey, man, before we get started, this is brought to you by Ancient Mystics All Natural Products. You know how we do it, all natural, all organic. Got some wonderful products for you coming up. We just came with Pawpaw Adventure, so we got Pawpaw leaves, got Pawpaw fruit, and all kind of blood purifiers and everything. We've been in the lab working. I've been really putting it down. So we got nice products, so make sure you DM us for that and get up with us so we can get you some products. Also, don't forget, this Saturday, October 14th, is Green Party Social.
Yeah, man.
We're going to be on the Green Party thing. And this rain or shine, y'all. Rain or shine.
You know how we get down with the elements.
We don't play with it. We get down with the elements. We got all the stuff for you that you're going to need out there for the elements. So this is rain or shine. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. It's going to be at the Mystic Gardens, 2465 Buchanan Street, Gary, Indiana. That's the Green Party Social this Saturday, October 14th, on the eclipse. We will be doing Green Party Social, rain or shine. Tell somebody about it. Share this with somebody. A farmer's market, vendors, everything. We're gonna roll this. So let's go roll. So it's rain or shine. So get ready for it. All right. What else we got for tonight, announcement-wise?
Man.
Before we jump into
because we got some deep things to discuss this evening.
Yeah, we got a hot one for you tonight, y'all. A hot one. Yeah, let's just do this, man. Let's go into the lessons. This is brought to y'all by Take Note Productions. You know how we do it. We like to get scientific before we get into analytical and critical. So y'all stay tuned with us. Let's do this here.
Yeah, man, let's dive.
What we talking about tonight?
You know how we like to do it every Wednesday night, man. We jump in with our wonderful sun presentation, man, and dive real deep out into the cosmos, man. You know what I mean? To our LASCO C2 and C3 satellites, which are orbiting somewhere out between Earth and the sun. You know what I mean? And y'all have probably seen a little 180 or 360 going on with the square or the actual lens of the camera, and every so often, it was like once every month or once every 2 months or so, it does a 180 flip on the camera lens. You know what I mean? In order to keep it refreshed. You know, it's like hitting the refresh button on the computer or on the phone, and it just resets everything, recalibrates. You know what I mean? Because it's so far out there, man. Very technological, but. Nonetheless, let's jump into it, man. We're looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun right now through the LASCO C2 and C3 satellites, which have particular lenses over the top of the camera so that we can see through different spectrums of light and really get an in-depth look at the sun right here. And as you know, we are starting to enter what we call solar cycle 25.
Solar cycle 25.
Yeah, man. Something serious, you know, and as we progress in the years from 2023 all the way to 2025, we're going to really start to deal with heightened activity with the sun. And I'm talking about solar flares, or what they call coronal mass ejections. You know, you could probably see them up here at the 11 o'clock position. Maybe even out here we see some solar flares coming out the sun right here, off the right side about the 2 o'clock position. Even a couple of bursts off the back side at the 5 o'clock position. You know what I mean? It's a lot of activity. Even right here in the center screen, you know, follow the mouse cursor now. We see a lot of activity. It's very light activity compared to weeks prior. You know, we started to see big M-class flares coming off, or X-class flares, and these things are really debilitating to satellites and even us here humans on the so-called planet Earth. You know what I mean? They tend to affect our what they call circadian rhythm. You know, this is where our natural time clock comes into play, and it works hand in hand with our equilibrium. And we also have a resonance in our brain that resonates at 7.83 hertz, which is the natural resonance of the so-called planet Earth. You know what I mean? And this is very deep knowledge, because when we look at the frequencies here on Earth now, it's sitting somewhere between 8.35 hertz all the way to 13 hertz, and this is a big difference in frequency level. But nonetheless, these subtle changes can have an effect on us subconsciously or internally through our brains, through our nervous systems. We're connected to the earth in so many different ways, and one of them happens to be through Earth's magnetosphere. We're all bound to gravity in a sense, you know what I mean? And we're all protected by Earth's atmosphere, the ionosphere, which blocks a lot of these radiation coming off of the sun. But we have to be mindful, man, that when these things travel through the earth, magnetic waves are not blocked, you know what I mean? So they start to have this adverse effect on our brains and the way that we think and our behaviors. Certain parts of the brain are more heavily affected, man. And we spoke in lessons past, man, and there's a few studies done from like 1950 all the way to 94, and this showed that over that 40-year span, there was an increase during the heightened times of solar activity. There was an increase in things like violent crime, suicide rates, murder rates, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety coming along. So we see how the sun correlates with the human body in a sense as well. We always have to look at ourselves as cosmic beings, because we're connected with just everything out there in the cosmos, man. Even such a subtle thing like the planets lining up, could have a gravitational effect all the way here on the so-called planet Earth and have an effect on us as well, man. So it becomes really deep, man. So y'all pay attention during these heightened times of activity of the sun here.
Yeah.
As we see a lot of wars, a lot of violence churning up in the world right now,
Yeah,
and we see as we start to climb into the peaks of the solar cycle 25, all this discombobulation going on in the world, and we're going to dive into that a little bit later. Let's not spill the beans just yet and finish the lesson. But nonetheless, we're at a slow time on the sun right here compared to weeks past. We haven't seen many high M-class flares, a lot of lower class ones coming on. Even though there is a lot of activity, there's not a lot of coronal mass ejections, which makes it better for us here on the so-called planet Earth. You know what I mean? And it's just a beautiful thing going on right now, being able to track the cosmos, man. So y'all need to make sure to tune in every week and take notes, man. So y'all can do some research yourselves, you know what I mean? So we can see things that are going on at other days during the week. Maybe y'all could take videos on your computers or whatever and such, instead of watching all of this nonsense and other videos like so. Hey, let's start compiling information like so we can make future predictions and be more aware, more conscious of ourselves and of the planet around us, We always tend to forget about looking up in the cosmos, looking up at the sky, and that's something that the ancestors, the ancients did all the time, man.
Yeah.
We're so bombarded with frequencies and light pollutions, man, that we have just been taken so out of tune, and it's affected us tremendously. Even I think it plays a big role in our evolution as a human race, you know what I mean? This stuff really has to do with... Personally, I think it has to do with things like all the division you see, man, and how certain events are correlated. Things like 9/11, the planes hitting the towers at a certain time with a certain number, There's numerological aspect of it. All this stuff is tied into the cosmos, man, because everything, the language of the universe is numbers in a sense. You know what I mean?
We're children of the universe.
You know what I mean, man? It becomes something heavy to think about, man. Y'all make sure you continue to philosophize with us, man, because we out here opening minds, man. We're doing things that your average people ain't doing out there. You know what I mean? Really bringing some stuff to attention, man, so that we can become more aware. Nonetheless, man, we'll wrap it up here with a little sun presentation, man. A slow week of activity compared to weeks prior, and we just need to be mindful because it looks like over here at the 9-10 o'clock position we've got a lot of active regions coming along the earth-facing side of the sun, and as this particular battle starts to heighten, man, you know what I mean? These solar flares are only going to increase. So we're gonna watch and monitor this over the next few Wednesdays, you know what I mean, and see how things in the world are starting to correlate with this activity on the sun, So it's going to be interesting in a couple of weeks. So y'all make sure to stay tuned and always take notes, man. We take notes production out here, man. Got to open the minds and such. So we're going to jump over here to the WSA, the Enlil Solar Wind Prediction Center right here, man. And this is just bringing up another perspective for us to see the solar winds that are being lashed out here towards Earth. And like I said, in weeks prior, if you followed the lessons, or you can go back and watch the video so you can see how things were in the past. That's how we like to be almanacs. We like to look at ourselves as as creating new almanacs in this particular day and age. You know what I mean? Something more precise. So we see right out here where the mouse is, we see the red planet, the green planet, and the blue planet. The red planet is Mercury, the green planet is Earth, and the blue planet is Venus. You know what I mean? So we look down here, we look over here to the right side, we see very little activity, man. Even though some solar winds were really heavy coming off of the sun, probably from all them flares we seen on the backside launching off. You know, that's why the winds were so heavy right here. That's why you see the lighter colors, meaning that they're more stronger, coming off the sun at roughly 1,000,000 miles per hour. That's a really fast time right there. You know what I mean? Hit Earth in a matter of seconds, maybe even minutes. So we see very little activity coming off here on the sun, and we're just getting struck by these solar winds. So not a lot for us to deal with, man. And like I said, it's been a slow week, so we ain't got much to really chart this week. But nonetheless, we can mark it down as a slow week of activity on the sun during this particular cycle. Mind you, we're going into solar cycle 25 in 2 years, man. So this is not the most heightened period yet. We're just now climbing into the echelon. Yeah, man, something serious. Nonetheless, man, we're gonna jump off that sun presentation, and we're just coming off the October full moon, which they call the Hunter's Moon. You know what I mean? It's probably the Master Bridger. We're just coming off the Hunter's Moon, and that was maybe like a week or so ago, and that was the full moon for the month of October. Now we're in the waning crescent moon. So what I notice when I go outside and I drive up by the lake is that during these periods of where the moon is barely visible, it's just a slight crease on the outside, in the sky. We have very low tides. You know what I mean? These moons are very correlated with the tides. Full moon brings about the high tide. You see a lot more waves crashing and heightened seas and such like that, heightened sea levels. That's why we monitor the hurricanes the past couple of weeks with these full moons coming around, because it's only going to make stronger storm surge come up, even if the hurricanes don't crash into the land. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Gotta watch out for the floods, man.
Yep.
It goes for all over the world. We just monitor here in America, man. So much going on in the world, that we have to really stay versatile with it, man, and keep in mind that we're not just being affected here, but it's affecting the entire planet, man. Nonetheless, man, we're just checking out the moon phases here right now. We're in the waning crescent, about 10% illumination here on October the 11th. And, in a couple of days, maybe 3-4 days or so, we're going to be with no moon in the sky. So it's going to be a very dark time outside, man. So get your lights out, man. You know what I mean? Put your lights on. Okay, we're going to jump over here real quick, man. This is a website. And if y'all see up here in the corner, man, y'all can check these out yourselves. Make sure you always do the research, man, and continue it on. We bring it to you on Wednesdays, not in depth, but y'all do your own research, man, so you can stay in tune. But this is globalincidentmap.com, and this is just monitoring the earthquakes going on around the world at a given time, so you can type in a different address, to get more precise. But as we see in the last 72 hours, there's been 116 earthquakes around the globe. And if you haven't been seeing on the news as of recent or been following something that's been talking about it, there's been some massive earthquakes in Afghanistan. Now, it's taken like 5,000 plus lives, man. I think the number was like 10,000, man.
Everything is happening over there. Everything is happening over there.
And these things, they just had earthquakes that were like 7.5 and 6.5 back to back. So while people were still trying to pick up from the rubble, man, our next one came through and just rocked the region. You know what I mean? And we'll zoom in. We have over here on the left side, we have a few here in the Americas and such, man. Nothing too heavy. South America, right along these fault lines where you see all the mountains down in the Andes. You know what I mean? And same over here with the states, and down here in the Ring of Fire over here on the right side, Indonesia and such, man. All of these earthquakes are just constantly turning up, and wherever you see earthquakes, usually you see volcanoes or mountainous regions. So always keep that in mind as well. So we'll just zoom in real quick, man, on this particular region that we were just talking about, and this is the region they call ancient Mesopotamia and such. Ancient Mesopotamia, things like Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan, all of Iraq, Syria. I mean, we're going to the left here in just a moment, but I gotta say these things out, man. But we see one of the larger earthquakes happen right here in Afghanistan. This one happened to be a 5.1 earthquake that happened 2 days ago. You know what I mean? Came and rocked the region, and this was the following of a even larger earthquake, roughly 7 or higher. That came and rocked the region and took countless amounts of lives, man. So always be mindful, man. There's a lot of movement going on underneath us as well. As much as I stress, we don't look up at the sky, we don't look at the ground and monitor the ground enough, personally. So, we just got to start becoming more in tune over the weeks to come. Keep your minds open and take notes as always, man, because this stuff will be very valuable to everybody, man.
Yeah, man.
Worldwide knowledge, man. So
yeah,
we're gonna jump off of that, and we're gonna go through another map right here, another satellite that's monitoring the wildfire smoke in the sense that's going on around.
Yeah, that's something we better really watch out for. That wildfire smoke.
Watch out, man.
I think something in that smoke, man. I don't know what kind of chemicals. We don't really know what's going on. Sure. We know it's blowing from the north.
Straight up.
But we don't know how it started, who's the cause of it, and what's in it. Because it's carrying all kind of carbon fibers. It's carrying the monoxides. It's carrying probably oxide. It's carrying all kind of stuff that's in it that affects our lungs, our brains, and our some reproductive system. You have to watch all of this stuff. So, this is why we do these maps, because we have to pay attention to what's going on in the atmosphere. Lightwalkers, to all my lightwalkers, pay attention. Pay attention. We got to pay attention.
Straight up, man. Something serious out there, man. Y'all heard the brethren over there, man, keeping it loud and clear. But we'll take a look up here where I got my mouse cursor, man. We have this darker region right here above the Great Lakes region. And this is like roughly Ontario, Canada, and such, where these wildfires originally started, and they've just been raging all across Canada. There has not been a break, man, since the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? A year in January will be a year straight of dealing with wildfire smoke, man. I know everybody's got to be feeling some sort of effect, whether you feel it or not. Everybody's health is taking a toll when it comes to it. But we see right there, that darker region, man, that's where, the fire is really concentrated. You see all the smoke coming out of there, firing up, getting caught up in the trade winds, the winds coming from different directions. That happens to be these different lines right here, so you can follow the winds and kind of see where they're directing the airflow. And we see a lot coming down here as it's coming out of the north as well, right off of Lake Michigan, blowing all of this concentration of smoke, man. I think last week may have been the only week where we had just a shade lighter, color around here.
Yeah, just a shade. It got kind of darker now.
Oh, man, as the temperature's changing up, atmosphere's changing up. We got all this rain coming over the next couple of days, and we see all that pushing up from the bottom right here. So we're having this collision of north and south winds, and it's really keeping that air stagnated and concentrated over the Midwest. So everybody got to be mindful of their health, man. And the things that's going on in the air around us that we breathe in, man, because it's very critical at this moment in time. And compared to any other time in the past, now is the time to really be prepared. We talked preparedness a couple of weeks ago, man. And y'all know what it is, man. We have to find ways to purify the air, just like we purify our waters and our foods and such, man. So something serious. And yeah, nonetheless, man, we like to jump in that every week and track this wildfire smoke, and we shall continue, man, as long as these fires continue burning. So we'll jump over here, man. This is always a nice, multispectral infrared night shot of the Earth right here. It's I know a lot of people argue, man, the shape of the Earth, a sphere, a spheroid, a pear shape, flat, whatever it is. But that's neither here nor there. We're just here to bring you some good knowledge, man, and y'all take it for what it is. You know what I mean? Continue to deal with it. So we're looking up here in the Midwest, man. We see that. Look at that big cloud, man. It's pretty much covering half the United States. You know what I mean? We just talked about, all this rain, all these storms, brewing up. But it's just amazing to see how massive this cloud structure is. It's not often that we see formations like so. Usually we see weather pushing in a strip out of the west or coming up out of the south through hurricane. But that's just it almost looks like a real big derecho. And that's like that strong westerly wind that comes powering through, almost could spawn, F1 tornadoes in a sense, microbursts. We've had a couple of those come through in recent years. It came through Iowa, took out a whole bunch, man, and came through the region over here with some powerful winds, you know what I mean? So, we're ready to be prepared by checking out maps like this. But yeah, man, everybody from the Midwest to the East Coast, man, y'all better get your umbrellas, man, because it's about to start raining, man. Seasons are definitely in change right now, in transition, as we go from from summer into the fall time, you know what I mean? Temperatures changing, atmosphere's changing, and we always say, brethren, when the seasons change, the atmosphere changes as well, man. The makeup of it,
And people change too.
Oh man, everybody connected to it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a deep piece of work. Yeah, man. So, like I said, we're monitoring the weather right here on this particular multispectral infrared map right here, and it's nice, man. We always like to see as it goes from day to night, because sometimes you can see the lights coming up, where the different cities are, So, yeah, make sure you stay in tune, man. Wednesdays, we like to dive deep when it comes to the weather. And we're going to talk about one last piece, which is going to transition us into our conversation for this evening time, man, our reasoning. And this happens to be with the event that we have coming up here on October the 14th, which happens to be the annual solar eclipse. You know what I mean? The Ring of Fire, as they say, man. On October the 14th.
Fire.
The Ring of Fire, man. Just as they say, man. And these things have been prophesized, man, to fall on particular dates or particular times in history, for these rings of fire to come back around, man. Very interesting work right here. But y'all check it out. This is GreatAmericanEclipse.com. Y'all can see past eclipses and future eclipses that are coming up as well, and track the region that they're going to be coming through. Because in April of next year, of 2024, we're going to have the total solar eclipse come over the region, and it's almost going to be 100%, So it's going to be a real nice time to be in tune and look up to the sky so y'all can get a view of this. And if y'all are in the viewing regions of this annual solar eclipse, I know up here in the Midwest, we're going to see like 40% of it. So it'll be like half of the sun is going to be split or blacked out. So we get half a shadow roughly. But if you're down from the West Coast up here, in maybe mid to upper California, all the way across, y'all are following the cursor right here, down into New Mexico, parts of Arizona, Texas, all the way down to the southern latitudes and such. But right along that line, man, we're going to see that eclipse come through. And if y'all go onto this website right here, GreatAmericanEclipse.com, y'all can even get some glasses or things like that, so you can check out the solar eclipse. I know everybody always wondering how to see it, how can we watch it, and see it precisely. But here's a way for y'all to check it out, man. So, feel free to go check out that website and get in tune. But I'll show you one last view of this, man. And this is a very interesting, quick video piece right here of the eclipse and where it's going to is following the path right here, the path of the shadow. It's going to start at roughly 9 o'clock in the morning, as it starts to come along the Oregon coast into and partially California into Nevada as we travel on into things like, let's see where we headed next, man, going through Nevada into Utah and then down into maybe New Mexico, parts of Arizona, into Texas. But nice interactive piece right here. It really gives you an in-depth look on a future prediction of the path of the Ring of Fire or the annual solar eclipse. You know what I mean? It's going to be an interesting piece of work as this goes on over the course of the, I don't know, usually takes like minutes for it to occur, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
When I seen that last one, so over the course of minutes that shadow comes along, and you'll see how the shadow casts itself on the ground too. And this has always been, like I said, it's part of prophecy, man. It's part of revelation, man. They talk about it all the time in some of these books or teachings or scriptures about these rings of fire that's going to come out where the sun's going to block out and things are going to happen. You know what I mean? So we're coming in here into Texas right there and pretty much ending the solar eclipse here in the States when it leaves off into the coast and heads down to the southern latitudes. You know what I mean? So very in-depth look right there, man, on a future prediction of this particular solar eclipse, this annual solar eclipse that we have coming up here on October the 14th, man, starting at 9 a.m. Central Time. So if you're here in the Midwest, it's going to be 9 a.m. Central Time. If you're elsewhere in the States, y'all do the math on it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, y'all be in tune, man, because we got some great celestial events going on here in the next couple of months, man. Like I said, leading all the way up to April the 8th when we get the total solar eclipse up here in the Midwest. It's going to be an interesting one, man. Yeah, man, so that's going to wrap up that lesson for this evening time, man. Y'all make sure to tune in every Wednesday, man, because we always got to bring you some very deep knowledge, man. You know what I mean? Open up the minds.
Yeah, man.
Straight up.
Speaking of opening up some minds.
Said the sounds were very muffled, man.
What we sound like, y'all? Tell me what I sound like. Won't you be able to hear me clear? I got the muffled sound. It's Jessica. I see it. Hey, Jessica. I thought I fixed it. I think I fixed it.
Yeah, man, y'all give us a quick thumbs up, man, before we continue on.
Yeah, with the sound. The sound is good. Make sure the sound is good for you. All right. Speaking of that, before I say what I'm going to say, I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. All right? You ready? Okay. we can't give you all the information that we really would like to give you because we're streaming across some platforms and they have rules and guidelines and different stuff to go with it. So we have to follow and abide by those rules and guidelines to keep bringing you the Lightwalkers. You can check us out on the YouTube and some other different things we got coming, but YouTube especially, and get your information. And this is Take Notes Productions, meaning that you take notes too. All right, so you do the homework for yourself. But tonight we're going to talk about Revelations, from the book of Revelations. I'm not a Christian, holy roller, Bible-toting nobody. I'm not none of that. I'm a man that believes in God, though. That's definitely for sure. That's definitely for sure. In the higher power, the higher force, whatever you call it, Allah, Jah, Yehovah, whatever you call it, that higher force, that higher command, that nature call, that master of nature, both he, she, and all things. And I was looking, you know, I don't like to really talk because I hear so many people always bash the Bible and say it's, you know, it's the Europeans' book and his story and all of this other stuff. But that book playing to the letter. You know, recently we just saw in the last few days what's going on in Israel. Now, this is bringing us close to what some would predict to say World War III. I say it's bringing us closer to the Battle of Armageddon. And we are in a tight time. This is just not a little small conflict. This is the beginning, the precursor for a major war. Now, in that Bible, in the book of Revelations, it talks about the Jews. It talks about those that are from the synagogue of Satan. I think that's Revelation. I want to say that's Revelation 2, 9, and 10. If you look it up, and Lightwalkers look it up, it speaks to them. And those that are rich, and I know thy blasphemy, that call themselves Jews and are not, but are from the synagogue of Satan. That's what it says. That says that in the book. All right? And I'm looking at the conflict between Hamas and Israel and what's going down. This is not new. This war has been going on for about 2,000 years, since the time of the Crusades, since the time of 950 to 1090 to the 1300s, when that one period ended, it cooled down and it popped back its head again in the media in the 1940s, when Germany attacked the north of Poland and Russia, and chased the Ashkenazi Jews down into, first they was going to come to America. They weren't allowed to come here because the York Rite Masons here weren't allowing that. They weren't allowing that. The powers that be were allowing that. They couldn't set up no separate homeland in the middle of the United States. And it's all Great Britain bad. Now, Great Britain had a great hand in this, in manipulating all of this with the Six-Day War in the 1940s, when they took Palestine and made it the state of Israel. And then people have been fighting for their country for years, trying to win back their independence in the country. And many have been slaughtered. And as we see today, the slaughtering continues. Now, what does this have to do with us? Everything. Because in that book of Revelations, it talks about the 7 seals and how each one of these seals would be broken. And in each one of these seals would be a plague or a cup of wrath. And this morning I kind of went through the book of Revelations for the cup of wrath. Kind of spooky, man. Kind of spooky. It's a lot of alien talk in it. Especially one of the parts that grabbed me was the part about the locusts. And they were talking about the locusts having the hair like women and the teeth like lions. And I know it's all metaphorical, but the way it's presented, it's like some creatures that come out the ground as the alien, you know? And they're marching down, they're devouring things on the earth. It talked about the comet wormwood and how it would crash into the water and bitter out the waters. Now, wormwood is a great herb, and we use that name, wormwood, as herbs, but it's in the botanicals, it's also, in botany, it's also a poison. It can be a bitter poison. And it talks about how these things will be poisoning the waters. And the waters will turn red like the blood. The sea will be blood. And 1/3 of everything would die in the sea. And it will poison the rivers and the ponds and the streams. We won't be able to drink the water. That's something deep to think about. Now this conflict, you finna say something? This conflict, jump in there with me when you feel like jumping in. This conflict is in Israel. And between Israel and Syria lies a valley. And this valley is called Megiddo. And Megiddo is the site that they say in the book that would be the site for the Battle of Armageddon. And they said that all nations would gather, all kings and all nations would gather their armies to do battle in this valley. And we see it lining up right now today with countries like China and Russia and Iran, who are bagging Hamas, and America and Great Britain and the rest of them, France, are bagging Israel, and how these nations, these powerful nations, are coming together to do battle. And this is just the beginning of what you're about to see. Also talks about the 7 unclean spirits that come with the wrath of God, or the wrath of the Most High. I don't like using that word God all the time, because we've taken that word and shook that word up so bad that it's almost a bad word. You see, and we're not paying attention to what's really going on overseas like that, because we think we're in our comfort zone with that sandwich and that Kool-Aid and that wine, and that television and that couch, and you put your feet up on the couch and smack your teeth and enjoy yourself in some heat and watch these people over there suffer, and all these young children that are being massacred over there. All these children and people are being massacred over there. Because you got to remember something. Countries like Palestine, they have more children than they have adults, due to wars and different things that have happened over the century. So we're in a comfort zone here. So we think it won't happen to us. I'm going to tell all my light walkers out there to be prepared. Start right now, learn how to be prepared. Learn how to get water, grow you some food. Learn how to make you some medicines. Learn how to barter and trade. Get your mind right, because we're in for a ride. And I'm predicting this ride gonna come to a super head by 2029. I think we're gonna come to a super head by that time, where it's gonna be it's gonna be terrible. That book also talks about those that possess the mark of the beast. Revelations, I want to say that's 16. Am I right? I'm quoting from the book. Talks about those that will not be able to buy rich or poor, you know what I'm saying, unless they possess the mark of the beast in the forehead and the hand, which is the number of a man, 666. You see, now some people blow this off and say, "Oh man, that's that Bible. The European boy wrote this and this and that." I don't care what you say. I see the prophecy playing out, and for those that are light walkers, you see it too. We can act like it ain't happening. We can get on our high horse and put our militant suits on and act like it ain't. It's just some coincidence. No, this is real life in real time, and we see that the money system, how it's changed, how the American dollar is not worth anything anymore in most countries. You see what I'm saying? We see how we're about to go into the digital market of coins and currency. We also see that the mark in the forehead is the ideology of man. How we thinking. The world has gotten so wicked. Everything has been shoved down our throats, all kind of violence, all kind of sexual perversion and different things is being shoved down our throats. And those that sit there and watch it, if we speak out against it, we get persecuted for it. The book tells you about that too. All the followers of creation, of the Creator, will be persecuted by speaking out against it. I mean, your friends go against you, your family go against you, everything out there, you become crazy, you become a loner. Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, that's broken.
you know, and you become this loner because you are actually speaking the prophecy and from your own eyes in real time. The book talks about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse riding. You ever want to read a great book that was wrote a long time ago? It's called Behold the Pale White Horse by William Cooper. Which talked about the involvement of the governments and the wickedness in higher places and the pronounce that for me, principalities. It talked about it. And they wiped William Cooper out. He put that information out and they wiped him out. You see? So we got to get prepared. We're seeing it right now, and it's escalating day by day. We see how people are crossing the borders, all the migrants that are coming in, you know what I'm saying, escaping different things in these countries and wickedness that's going on, and how it's affecting us at the same time. These are things that are happening. This is all in the prophecy of this book. My grandmother once told me, I was raised in a household. I was a Catholic. I was an altar boy for about 12 years. But my grandmother lived with us. Annie Benford. Love me some Annie Benford. She taught me how to cook and everything. I wouldn't know how to cook right now if it wasn't for her. She told me a story one time. Now, her side, my mother's side of the family was Jehovah's Witnesses. So imagine, I grew up learning the Bible and reading Watchtower and Awake. And I remember my grandmother sitting us down one time, and she told me a story about how one day the trees won't know the wind. How man was going to be with man and woman was going to be with woman. And how people were going to write all over themselves and the violence that was going to be taking place on the earth, especially in our own surroundings. She told me about the political wars that were taking place that would lead us until the day of the coming of the Most High. Now, even when I talk to you about it right now, it makes the hairs on my neck stand up. Because I can remember this. I was 10 years old when she told me this story. And I'm living in a living testimony of it right now. I see it every day. And I keep hearing her words. Now, is this prophecy for real? I'm asking the questions to you. I don't like to use the word believe. Do you have knowing of this prophecy being for real? We better hope them Christians is wrong, because I see the book playing out. I see it playing out. What do you see?
Yeah, for sure.
Lightwalkers, what y'all see? Talk to me about it. Because we're in a troubled time right now. And if you look at the spirit of humanity right now, the spirit of humanity is in a downfall. You see, the spirit of humanity is injured, and it's in a downfall. It's a fallen state. And a lot of us who are true knowers of creation and nature and the great Most High, we're caught in this fallen state with them. And I know it sounds scary, but the judgments are coming. The book talked about the judgments, talked about the angels of the Most High, how they would come down, where are they coming from, and who are these angels? Could this be the UFOs they're talking about? Could this be the angelics coming back? Those children of the Most High to do battle with the children of the fallen ones? This is a serious conversation. We like to sweep this conversation under the rug, and you don't hear this in no church on Sunday. And if it is just talked about like this in the church on Sunday, it's a little bitty church who ain't got no mega building and mega money, who are bearing witness to the prophecy. A lot of us forgot about the prophecy. We wrote the book off because we said the European wrote the book. Now, we can say that, but these things are coming to pass right in front of our eyes. And we got to pay attention to it. especially with the conflict that's going on now and how all the countries are lining up with this. Lightwalkers, where we at with this? Because we got to be prepared. It also talked about those that would have the seal of the Most High. When they start talking about marks and seals on you, I don't just think they're physical marks. I think it's your consciousness that you're going to be. When it says upon your forehead, I think that's in your consciousness. That's my theory. That's your consciousness. How you thinking? There are those that walk around. We have love in our hearts. We have forgiveness in our hearts. We have passion and compassion in our hearts. And there are those that don't give a shit about nothing or care about nothing, and who they run over, who they trample over, who they destroy. And those are the ones with the mark of the beast, and the ones with the seal of the Most High are the loving kind, the ones that love nature, the ones who seek humanity upliftment, the ones that trust in Jah. And I also was taught when I was a little boy, young man, that there would come a time where you had to be on one side or the other. There was no straddling the fence, meaning you couldn't play good and evil. Now, some people would argue with me and say that good and evil exist on a balanced scale. But I was told from a little boy, from a wise woman, and a few men, but a wise woman was the first. My grandmother told me the story first, how you would have to choose a side. Either you was going to be on the side of light or you was going to be on the side of darkness. I chose the side of light. That's why we call the light walkers, because we choose to walk in the light. And we catch it. Oh, I've been called all kind of things now. I've been called in a cult, all kind of things. Hey, just make sure you call me that a bunch of times, because I'm going to study be that, because I'm seeing what's going on. I have vision so I can see. I'm able to translate that vision into actually knowing. And I know many of y'all out there see the same thing I see. So we have to get right in the spirit of the Most High. We have to get right in the spirit of consciousness. We have to be for the upliftment of humanity, not the downfall of it. And there are many wicked people out here. There are many wicked people around us. The book talks about all those that are going to praise the darkness. They're going to go for the darkness, the dark beings. You see it right now. You see the movies and the music and how everything is shaping up, and the violence in the streets and the struggle against mankind with itself. And we see this happening. Now y'all can play like you don't see it. You can play like, oh man, this is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, but you in what it is. So you better know what it is and what side you on. That's why we created this podcast, to bring you information, Lightwalkers, because we walk in the light. Now, the book also talks about the coming of the Most High. Now, I've heard many churches and different stuff talk about the Most High, and when God comes back and this, that, and the other, and it's going to be a great day. They didn't say a great day at all. They did not say a great day in that book. I don't care if it's the Amplified Bible, the King James Version Bible, the Gideon Bible, the New World Translation, or any one of them books, even in the Quran, and a bunch of other holy texts and scriptures around the world from different faiths and belief systems. They all have this same thing. When the coming of Allah comes, it's not going to be a great day. It's going to be a dreadful day, according to that book. That's what it said. It didn't say you're going to be out there waving no flags and hollering and screaming. It said you're going to hear the sound of the trumpets and the wrath is going to pour down on you. The water's going to be poison. Fire going to fall from the sky. You're going to wish you would perish, but you can't. for the rock, and the rock gonna run with you. There will be no place to run or no place to hide. I know it sounds spooky, but prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. The world is not getting better, it's getting worse day by day. So many people are lost in turmoil out there. So many people are trapped in their head. So many people are suffering from not only poverty, a physical poverty, but they're suffering from a psychological and mental poverty. And we are in that revelations. It is being revealed. That's what the word means, to reveal it, to tell you this is what's happening in real time. 2017, one of the prophecies in the book of Revelations talked about the eclipse of the sun. We all sat out there and watched it. They mentioned that it was a bunch of shows that came on that was talking about it, and everybody just blew that over because they made it like some venture to Great America or something. They didn't tell you this was part of the prophecy. Those that knew the end time game. What is the end time? The end of an age, the end of this type of cycle, the end of this type of world, the end of the rule of these people, the end time. Just like we acknowledge the age of Aquarius, we have to acknowledge the end time. Because we just ended a cycle of Pisces into the age of enlightenment. And these prophecies are coming back on us so that we can now be aware of this and get ourselves right. Now, I'm not speaking from a Christian perspective. I'm speaking from a perspective of spirit and what I feel and what I know. Talk to me, Lightwalkers. What you gonna say about this, bro? Because I can go because it's what it is. But what do you think?
Same thing you think.
You're a young man. You're a young man. With the Lightwalkers, we got a young man and an older man together, and we like to put them together, man. Old school, new school is true school. So, what you think? Talk to me.
The same thing you think. It's like World War III.
Yeah. It's like it's playing out, don't you? Yeah. Playing out to the T. And that's going to affect us, too, in this country. Because if all these countries get ready to go to war, and America already talking about giving arms and different stuff to Israel and they're choosing a side. And if America chooses a side and you live in America, what side you think you're going to be on? And every great nation falls. All of them fail. And this is Babylon the Great. This is the baby sister of Great Britain. And it's going to have its judgment too. These are things we have to pay attention to. Start watching the sky. Start watching the news. So that you can see what's really going on. Because it looked like we're heading for World War III in the Valley of Megiddo for the Battle of Armageddon. It's a deep concept. Something to think about. The book talks about the great famines and sicknesses. And we're seeing the plagues of the world come now. We've seen the coronaviruses, and there are going to be some more coming. It's going to be more intense than that. That's why we're watching that wildfire smoke. Because those that can see also can feel, also can hear. It's extrasensory hearing, feeling, smelling. We have that extrasensory because we plugged into the Most High. So we've been forced to look in the sky and look at these things and see how in preparation we can get. That's why we grow the herbs. That's why we study the herbs, because we know the medicine and cures for a lot of things is in the ground. It's not in the pharmacy. It's not in the hospital. It's in the ground. So many people knew about things for cancers and different stuff that grow in the ground. We could heal a nation. But instead, we go to Dr. Frankenstein, who practicing medicine, and we buy into the square Babylonian concept. I like to call it Babylon AD. You see?
Makes us more synthetic being. That's easier to control.
Yeah. And we're coming to the age where they even blocking free thinking. You can't express yourself. You know, you go out. I learned to go outside now, and I gotta be quiet. I'll be sitting around. People want to do the knowledge. I don't really be interested in that like that, unless I know who you are. And what we're talking about is at higher levels, 5 steps up into the light, and we can really talk. But sitting around battling somebody about battling an ignorant person, meaning they don't know, trying to tell them what you know, is a losing battle. They don't lose, you lose. Because you knew better than that. So you had to be quiet because you're going to be persecuted for it. You're going to be judged for that. You're going to be pushed aside and you're weird. They're not going to like you. I got a lot of people saying, oh, I don't like Cassius, Lord Cassius D. I really don't care if you don't like me. But they don't like me because my light shadows out the darkness and brings them into the light and exposes them. And I don't have to say anything. All I have to do is show up. That's deep. You know, a lot of women, oh, he's too much. You're right, I'm too much. I'm bright. I'm bright. You're not. We have to learn to get with our kind now. Catch up with your kind. It's a day, the day has come when you're going to look at who you call your so-called friends and associates, and you're going to eliminate some of them. Some of them are going to be family members. You're going to even eliminate some of your family members because they don't play. They're not in the light with you. They're in the darkness. Now, I know we love our family, but if they're not like us, it's nothing we can do about it. I'm not going to go back down in the darkness with you. I'm not willing to do that. I love Jock, so I'm not willing to do that. This is a revelation being revealed, this book. Everybody should get a chance. I don't care if you're not religious or you're just spiritual. Get that book and open that book and go to the book of Revelations and start studying it and do the homework and see it for yourself. And you be the judge of what you think. And I guarantee you, in Lightwave 3D, you're going to see what I see. And it's like that. It's like that. We got to learn ways of protecting ourselves now, of choosing the right people. Some of us, even in the book of Revelations, it talks about the ones that praise the darkness, that praise the dark forces. Some of us even married to them. Some of us are in relationship with these people. And we see this every day. We see these people with us, and we feel this around us, but we feel like we're compelled to be with them. So I call it being trapped in the darkness. I was once told by a great teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York, he said, it was a demon seed and a light seed and a dark seed in every family, in siblings. And these siblings was born because this made a balance of things. And it's a lot of dark forces out here on the planet. It's a lot of artificial intelligence. I ain't just talking about the robots and the cyborgs. I'm talking about the mind state, the thinking process, the psychological engineering, social engineering. People are being programmed in their lower chakra. And they're acting on these programs. They're producing more children in this frequency. And it's getting darker and darker and darker and more perverted. That's a good word I can use, perverted.
Straight up.
Tell me what y'all think. Because this is a discussion you should have with other people. You should have this discussion around your families. You know? In one of them Bible stories about the story of Moses, they told Moses, they said God told Moses to prepare these things and go in your house and tell your people and put the mark on the door so that the angel of death would pass over you and pass over your firstborn. Seems like we're in that time right now where we're going to be getting together in small communities to create life under the light in the age of darkness, because that's what we're in right now. The book says great wars and great famines, pestilence and diseases. The book talks about how man gonna go against man and how you're not gonna be able to do nothing unless you part of them. And you're starting to see that happen right now. And many of y'all going to celebrate Halloween this year. You're going to run by goblin and goblin masses and ghosts and vampires and run around and parade your children and say it's cute for the kids. And you're going to do this pagan worship, this idolatrous holiday. And these are things that work against who we are. And most of the people that do that never planted no food, so they don't reap no harvest. All they do is got a mask on to get some candy. And we as a people been duped into celebrating this. Even like holidays like Christmas. How we've been duped into celebrating, even though if you don't acknowledge, use that word, believe in it or anything like that, you wind up being in it because everybody around you is doing it. You go home, they got a big old Christmas tree, eggnog. Do they still drink eggnog?
Maybe so. I don't know.
They still drink eggnog. Still drink eggnog. A little spike in it.
Probably so, man.
How we duped into these holidays. How we following the path of the beast. The book also talks about the Antichrist, a false prophet. Somebody who's going to come and regulate the peace and make everybody bow to worship him. Because he's going to control everything. He's going to control the thoughts, the economics, everything. To create the one world order, the one world government. Everybody going to bow down to this. And all the followers of Jah that don't bow down to it are going to be persecuted and wiped out. And the armies are going to clash of good and evil into the day of reckoning of the Most High. Now, I know I sound spooky tonight, but I mean to be, because you got to pay attention to what's going on. I want you to keep your mind, get your mind right, pay attention, because things are happening. I love the Creator, and I'm in the army of God, AOG. What about you? Lightwalkers, what about you? What you do there, homie?
I'm reading the lesson.
You let me talk tonight, huh? You should better jump in there, too.
That's what everybody else said. Deep talk, man.
Yeah.
The truth, man. You got to sit back and
a lot of people don't want to hear this. A lot of people mad at me because I talk like this. But I'm a witness to it. I'm watching it. Ain't you watching it? I'm watching how even in the culture of hip hop, how the dark forces have twisted the narrative of it and twisted the mind of young people with it. And people act like they don't even see it. They just go on, I'm a fan of it. You're a fan of the darkness. So if you're a fan of the darkness, you of the darkness itself. You're practitioners of it. You're a priest of it. You're practicing this wickedness. How now today when all the drug dealers are glorified as the heroes of the communities. They did it, and they were the destruction of neighborhoods and communities all over the world. But they're praised as the heroes for us. So I want to get that bag. And these people have done the worst crimes to humanity. Even the people that sold it to them. Some people say, well, they didn't bring it over here. But the evil ones that process and manufacture in the jungles of different places and the spells that were put on it, it was shipped over here to be in the hands of you. And use you for your economic oppression and put this poison in your hands. And you spread it out through the community. And you ruin a people, a community, and a nation. And nobody ever charged you for crimes against humanity, because that's what that is. These things are wrote about these people in the book of Revelations. I don't have to quote the whole scriptures number for number, but if you go through the scriptures, everything you hear me saying, I like to use this word, layman terms. Can I use that? I'm going to give it to you straight, uncut, raw, the way I see it. We got to look at what we're doing. And we got to do better and teach our young people better. And we got to look at the pitfalls around us of darkness. And we got to make sure we don't step in them. If you're a light walker, you can't step back in the dark. You can't go back in the shadows. You can't play in the light 1 minute and then go back in the darkness and dwell in it the next. It don't work like that. You got to choose a side. And we know that you choose the side of the Most High. It's a glorious side, but it's not favorable in the land of darkness. You become whack. You become, oh, that ain't nothing. He ain't nothing, girl. He ain't getting it like that, girl. He talking that old stuff there, girl. I need a man with some money. You see? He ain't cool no more. He ain't this, he ain't that, she ain't this, they ain't that. Because they want you to be dark like them in the dark forces. Now, if you choose to play in that, then that's what you do. This is a warning to all the people. Pay attention. The signs are written on the wall. They're written in the sky. They're written in the water. And they're wrote in your head. Some of us want to ignore it, but it's there. Like I said, my grandmother told me a story when I was 10 years old, and I will never forget that story. And here it is, I'm an overgrown man. And right now today, I still remember, and everything she said is happening. You know, she told me one of the parts was saying a story about how people were going to write all over themselves. When I was 10 years old, when tattoos wasn't popular like that. A sailor had a tattoo. Maybe a man had a tattoo that went to the prison or something. Even a woman that went to prison, which was very rare around us. You didn't see it all the time. There wasn't that many women locked up like that. You know, I had a tattoo. But now she told me about a time that everybody was going to be like a human graffiti boy. They're going to write all over themselves. Now, she said this to me in the 1970s. She predicted this in the 1970s. And here it is. I'm an eyewitness to it right now today. This is deep. This is deep, y'all. And we got to prepare our minds for this. We got to prepare our community for this. When I say our community, that's those that think like you think, want the things that you want, practice like you practice. We got to band together as a community. The community ain't gonna all be all black either. Mm-mm. Like one of my late teachers say, we see you too, black devil. Everything in my color ain't good. Everything in my color ain't good for us, ain't good for our people. No. Even some of the destruction you see right now in the streets of America is brought on by the hands of our own. All our own. see wickedness in high municipalities. You see it. They let all the immigrants come over here in this country. Migrants, that's what they call them. Not immigrants, migrants. Migrating, crossing the border. And they give them all of these things, all of these shelters. I was watching people on TV fighting for the shelters and different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Rallying, trying to get them. Why y'all gonna close the community shelter down the park down and give it to them so they can sleep in it? But they never feed the homeless. They never talk about ever sheltering the homeless. And people sleeping alongside the expressways, underneath the White House, underneath the city. But these people come over, you give them everything. Here was our people here starving and oppressed, killing, murdering, and different things happening in the streets. And nobody says nothing. But now all of a sudden these immigrants, these migrants come over here and everybody want to just give them everything. This is wickedness in high places. The guns that's on the street, they pass gun laws, but young people don't buy guns from gun stores. They don't go to, what's that, Bass Pro Shop and buy no guns. What's that, Cabela's. They don't go there and buy guns. Who is bringing these guns over here and dropping this in the hands of them, along with the poison? And then the frequencies are created to promote it. Wickedness in high places. The destruction of the womb of the young woman through her ideology and through her persona of how she looks. Now, people say, well, ain't nothing wrong with that. She got a right to sing about what she wants. Yeah, but she promoting that to younger women. She not promoting that to no grown folk that follow some of these little rap girls. They ignorant. I ain't even calling them ignorant. I'm calling them stupid because they know better. But all of them, I mean, 15, 12, 10, 9, who walk around singing these records, this is being burned into their third eye. This is the mark upon their foreheads. When they get to be 16, 17, 18, what do you think the conscious state is going to be? We watch ages of little boys grow up under the violence of gangster rap music to where we get to right now, it's a super thug now. Hyper masculine, mass electro ways of violence. 24 hours a day with no rest. And we're showing you the sun all the time. And we keep talking about corona injections, and we keep talking about solar cycle 25. And you hear my voice, solar cycle 25. But this is real, what we're showing you. He's showing you this stuff not to just give you no weather report, because he never told you it was going to rain or be sunny or get your umbrella out, put your rubber boots on. He didn't say none of that. He will show you the sun to show you how the electromagnetic currents, this solar belt, this solar ball, how this affects humankind. That's why we show you the sun. That's why we do the sun presentation at the beginning of it. Because we're being affected. And through the chemicals that we eat, it's even a larger effect. And this is producing this bad seed. What are they talking about? You got a good one up there.
Everybody just listening, man. Everybody just
I got one good one up there. Most people, what did they say? Most people.
On the spell, these zombies who will try to eat your brains rather than change.
What?
Most people are under the spell of these zombies who will try to eat your brains rather than change.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Who is that?
Oh, that's Kathy.
Kathy Harvey. Y'all check out Harvest Therapies. Well, that's a Lightwalkers there. Shop with Lightwalker businesses. All the Lightwalker businesses. You got any other good ones? No. I like to hear what the people say sometimes.
When it comes to the, he was talking about the, like the Halloween traditions and stuff like that. Somebody said Celtic people got pagan roots, and they disagree that it's the way of devils and demons.
Yeah, they make sure this into your mind state. Halloween Fright Night. Be scared. Warlocks and demons. If you knew the real story of Halloween, then you know what you're getting into. I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna break that lesson down on the next Lightwalkers. I'm gonna do a little presentation for y'all about some of the Halloween stuff, so you'll know where some of the origins of this thing came from. I had a DVD that I put out quite a few years ago called The Origins of Halloween. All those that know about my Origins of Halloween, if you still have it, you should put it out. Put it on YouTube if you got it. I don't mind. Show it to your families and friends if you still have it, which I know some of y'all do. Share it with people, because we need more information. We can free ourselves from the darkness and start to climb the stair steps of light. Anybody else with that?
No, that's about it, baby.
Okay.
Everybody else said keep. You was talking earlier about we gotta bring some of these ancient teachings and stuff back, man, and these ways and practices and traditions. And somebody said you do bring more back.
Who was somebody?
I don't know. Sometimes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Whoever said that, you're right. That's what we're doing right now.
Keep bringing truth, deep talk. Peace.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all.
Come out the dwelling in the dark to bring the light.
Yeah. You know, this is Lightwalkers. This is what we do. Because we're in Revelations, man. And it's all being revealed. That's why it's called Revelations. It's being revealed. I want y'all to study. Take no productions. Take you some notes. Study. Each one, teach one, reach one, help one. Form our community, Lightwalkers. Those that walk in the light. This has been another one of our great adventures tonight. I don't keep y'all too long. I just like to be strong, not long. And remember, October 14th, rain or shine. That's this Saturday. Green Party Social. Y'all can check us out there. We might even do a little broadcast out there. I don't know yet. I'm working on it. No, but we're going to have all kinds of organic and all natural products. You know, we don't just talk this, we walk this all the time. You know, so that's October 14th, Saturday, starts at 12 noon and it's 7. And it's rain or shine. Come on out. If it's sprinkling, bring your umbrella. And if we all gather out there, I guarantee the sun come out. We're hoping for a great day, but we will be there. So make sure you spread this with others and share this video. You know, share the information, pay attention. I know a lot of us like to call it false news. We watching the news, that's false news. But pay attention and read between the lines. Can you do that for us? This has been another adventure of Lightwalkers. Wednesday night, Lord Cassius D.
Chris Lyon.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all heard it. Y'all know it. Now let's live it. Lightwalkers, talk to y'all later. Peace. you.